Welcome back to the Combat and Strength podcast with myself, Campbell,
Wong,
and Long.
Actually, got that in the wrong order, you know, pointing and all the rest of it.
oh, that's okay.
Yeah. Anyway,
Get used to it.
yeah, I will, wanna. You think I'd be used to it by now, Wong? Do you know what I mean?
So, how many episodes we done now?
Wong, I have no idea.
You
I
got
don't
no
even
idea.
know what day is.
This
Is it 12? Is it 12?
This is episode 12, and
12.
you have.
Feels like it's 12 days
That's
in
a
a week
long
for me.
one.
Man.
Some people didn't think we'd get to 2.
Yeah, a lot of people. This is what we talking about today. About what? What we talking about today?
Talking about haters.
Have we talking about haters?
Yeah.
We talking about hater.
I'm not talking about haters. I don't give haters no love, no attention they can off.
We was, Joe. Don't lie.
You see what I've done?
We was talking
So I've
about
done a
them before we
swallow,
went on air. We was
I
talking about.
know. But on
Don't
there, I'm
lie.
not going
Tell
to give
porkies.
them no traction. Why was we talking about them, Wong? Longy, you might as well tell everyone now since they brought it up.
What was we talking about?
Well, you was asking me, weren't you? Have I had any hate since I've taken up my new role?
You've got a new role.
as entertainment editor of the Voice newspaper, and I know I'm not going to talk about it every week.
Can you plug it again? Just give us another plug there.
Entertainment editor of the Voice newspaper, sports journalist, it's sport and entertainment. I don't really know if it gets much better, to be quite honest with you.
So
does it get much better?
I don't know. I would
Well,
know.
you do, Joe. We all want to be like you, don't we, Wong?
Think so.
We want to be like Joe.
Oh, please.
We
I
want to
feel
be.
like we all want to be like you soon.
Is it?
You're going.
You reckon?
You're on an upward trajectory.
I am on an upward curve. I'm not gonna lie, like, but hey, listen. What can I say? The team's strong. I actually want to be
The
like
team's
Wong.
strong. His numbers are
I was
ridiculous.
just gonna say, I want to be like you, Wong. Really, when I think about it, 100 million views. I think that's worth clapping. That 100 million views on his YouTube channel. If you haven't been on his independent YouTube channel,
Actually, it's a quite fucking achievement, isn't it?
That's not bad.
For somebody
Not
come
bad.
from Vietnam and got a solo, haven't got a bloody trousers to wear, and about 600,000 subscribers. That's not bad. Over on my own, actually, it's not bad.
I thought it was
600,000
500,000
subscribers.
600,000, yeah.
Can I know when we started this podcast? He was on 500.
It was 500, wasn't it? I didn't get that
12
wrong.
weeks. You've grown
Is it-
100,000.
Is
So-
it 12?
so-
500?
Usually it was 500,000 when we started.
Yeah.
Is it?
So we've boosted.
That's another
We've
round.
basically
That's
Another
boosted
round
your.
of applause. That's another round of applause. Most
Combat and
definitely.
Strength,
You know what?
You're
I
a star, innit? So we
see.
want to be like Wongy then. This is what's happening now.
I see some other YouTube channels numbers,
Yeah.
and they sort of really give it the bigger now. How big they are, they're the biggest. They're the biggest, but they're not, are they? You're the man, Wongy.
It's just,
You're the man.
yeah, a little bit. I can't.
I don't know, but I love that you're humble with it.
love
yeah,
it.
a little bit.
A little
because
bit.
It's not really.
What do you want? You want 1 billion subscribers? Is that what? 1 billion?
What's the target?
I reckon because when you reach up to 1 million subscribers, they give you the silver medal or some shit.
we don't
no,
know
I got the
what we
silver.
get.
Yeah, the play button.
Okay.
I think they give you the bronze.
Wait,
I think.
is that what we're aiming for? The play button, the silver play
Yeah,
button. So when do
because
you
you're gonna
get
get
a gold one? Hold on. When do you get
If
a
you
gold
get
one?
200, subscriber, they give you the silver button, the flipping silver button, about £5 from China.
Yeah.
And because it's 200,000, so it's your achievement. Yeah, 200,000 subscribe to you.
Yeah.
They give you the £5 from China. That's fucking button. That's it. Say your achievement. Thank you. You do very well. Yeah. But when you get a million subscribers, they give you the bronze, maybe silver bronze in it. After that, silver bronze in it. Maybe
Gold.
gold. I reckon. But
Bronze, silver, gold. Isn't it?
is it probably bronze? Before you get to gold, I reckon you probably need probably about 2-3 million subscribers, maybe. I don't know. So we wait for the bronze
Right, bronze.
and 5 fucking. I can get it.
You can get it
Now, Why the hell did you do? But you need 1 million subscribers.
So you need
1 million.
You're not far off.
subscribers. So if you're part
In the
of
next year, do you reckon that'll happen?
Yeah, but probably by next year, we got about nearly 4.5 million views a month now. Nearly 4.5.
I reckon if we get you
So it's quite-
fighting
it's all right.
Usain Bolt,
We'd
we'd
yeah.
get those subscribers.
I reckon that'd be.
You and Bolt.
Got to catch him
Usain
first,
Bolt.
though.
I got to catch him first. I got to be fast.
Speaking of running, we got a former athlete or present
That's
athlete.
right. That's right. No, yes.
Do you like
It's
that?
not retiring.
Is
before
that
his
a
time. Decent form, Joe. I'm not sure what they.
Decent form.
Would you have to keep? Do you have to keep your elbows in when you?
You should keep them perpendicular.
What the heck is perpendicular?
I can't even say it.
Yeah.
What is it?
Perpendicular. What the hell is that? So
know.
that mean what?
That's your homework for this week.
right, okay
You
then.
go home,
Okay then.
you Google that, you research the meaning. You come back next week and you tell the people then what perpendicular means. No, Joe. Just to answer your question.
Not a good technique.
Don't get no hate.
Anyway,
You don't. Oh, okay. Go back. Oh, yeah. Let's.
don't get that, 'cause
we're all over the shop.
We're doing that a lot.
keep up,
these
people.
days.
Keep up. They need to keep up.
We're doing that.
You
a
need to
lot.
be on the
We're
ball,
talking
Okay.
about
and you need
one
to keep
thing,
up.
And then
Yeah,
we're- and
like
then
you got a new job, like we talking about.
Yeah.
You got a lot of people hate you then.
Well, no, you know what it is. There's little snidey comments. There's people that who claim to want to support but don't. They just want to see you fall over. There's people that never ever really wanted to see you get the job in the first place or elevate yourself to that kind of position.
Did you get a lot of that though?
Yeah, I do. Not a lot.
Not a lot.
Yeah, but it's out there. But I don't focus on it, and this is as much time as I'm going to give it, really.
All right, well, that's it then.
Yeah,
Move
that's
on.
it then. Moving on. But you know what? You know why I only want to focus it for so long? Because essentially, I'm not really doing it for them. I'm doing it for. I want to lead my way. I want to lead the way. I want to forge my own path, blaze a trail for my son and my daughter to look up to. Really, because that's all that matters.
That's exactly that.
That's all that matters at the end of the day. And I'm inspired by people like our main guest for this podcast this week.
Are you?
I'm inspired by, because when you talk about leadership, when you talk about people who have got blinkers on and they're going where they're
Got
going.
vision.
Yeah.
Know where
Vision,
to go,
drive,
got vision.
determination.
Yeah.
When you talk about people
So
that really embody leadership,
So what is a leadership?
what is it?
What is it leadership?
Well,
What is leadership?
in my opinion, it's that. It's exactly that. Somebody who forges. They've got this thing called the beaten path. Do you know what that means?
Not really, no.
Okay, right. You know when you go
Fucking basic English for me.
No,
yeah?
it is. It's just two words: beaten path. When you go into a forest and you got a path.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is for Wong. This is not for the listeners and viewers at home. Actually, this is for everyone who doesn't understand. You go in the forest, as you do, Wong, to do your training. Sometimes I've seen the videos, and you've got a path that everybody's obviously walking down. That's a beaten path.
Alright.
And then you've got another direction you might want to go in. That's not the beat. That's off the beaten path.
Right.
I like people that
Stay on track.
No, I like people that forge their own track. And as a result of it, everyone follows them down this track.
Right,
And that's
okay.
what I consider Scott Coker, who is CEO of Bellator and this week's guest, to be. I consider him to be somebody who's
Leader.
forged a path that wasn't blazed before him. A leader, I know he's a good pal of yours, Joe, or you've worked with him in the past, if not quite a good pal. I don't know.
I don't know if that's the right.
He's
an acquaintance.
all right, something going on. What was
What's
that?
happening, Rob?
What's
going on there?
Technical department. Yeah, he's playing games again, isn't
Especially my phone.
he? Yeah, go on, you were saying, Joe.
No, he's. I wouldn't say he's a pal. I'd say he's more of a business acquaintance. We dealt with Scott to make the Bellator deal happen in London, and we sort of acted as a middleman as such, and made quite a lot.
Behind the scenes stuff that you do.
That behind the scenes stuff we do, and since then we've continued to talk, and he's been as good to say that he'll come on the show for us today, which we're recording it today. It's Thanksgiving today in America,
indeed.
so he's giving us some time on his holiday, and I just find him, me personally, I find him an inspirational promoter. Let's say so someone who you look up to, and as you say, he's the person what's blazing that trail, and he does his own thing, and he's done his own thing, and he's earned well from doing his own thing.
Man's still motivated and he's earned a lot of money.
Lovely. I won't mind following in them footsteps one
Most
day.
definitely.
That's where the leadership, you need to follow the leader. You need to follow somebody making it already. So you need to follow them, and you get it.
Yeah, no, I agree. And hopefully he's got some pearls of wisdom to share with us this week. One thing I won't tell you what I'll ask him. I'll just ask him, innit? How about we get him on the phone?
How about that one?
How about that?
Yeah.
This is the Combat and Strength podcast with me, Campbell,
Wong.
And Long.
Tune in every week for all things fighting and fitness, combat and strength. Say, Scott. And you know what? I have to tell you this because I've been. We knew we was going to interview you, and I've been calling you Steve behind the scenes for the last couple of hours by mistake, which I'm not sure why. But really, a real pleasure to have you on the Combat and Strength podcast. As I say, happy Thanksgiving. Thanks for your time, sir. I want to go straight in from the top and talk to you about the coup that was signing Fedor Emelianenko and you announcing it at Bellator 165 during one of the breaks. I mean, you must be especially pleased to have landed such a legendary fighter. I want you to talk me through how the deal came to fruition, and also your own personal thoughts on securing such a big name.
Yeah, you know what? I've had a long-standing relationship with FEDOR, and I'm sure you guys know he fought for us when I owned Strikeforce back in 2008 and 9. FEDOR was part of the co-promotion between us and M1 at that time. He had some fights. Then he fought Japan. Then he fought in Russia. Then he fought Japan. But we always stayed in touch and always had a good friendship. And I started talking to him about a year ago when we started doing these fan fests. Would you consider coming back? And he was like, yeah, I think I will. I'll let you know when I'm ready. And then he had the one fight in Russia, which, after a 3-year layoff, he had a tough outing. But it's been a while since he fought competitive at that level. So we started talking about 4 months ago, and I said, I really want you to do this. And then really it was about 3 months negotiation. And it wasn't easy. It was extremely tough. You deal with translation issue, language barrier, so far away. Every time we had a different version of the contract had to be completely translated. And it would have been easier if we could just sat down. But after 3 months, we finally got it done. And we started talking about opponents. And Matt Mitchell came to my mind. And Matt's a big fan of FEDOR's, but we asked him, would you like to fight FEDOR? He said he would love to. And that's why he got into the sport, wants to fight all the big guys into it. So we announced it last Saturday. And man, it's buzzing. People, I don't care what you say or how you feel about FEDOR Emelianenko. To me, he's the greatest heavyweight of all time ever in any meeting. And as far as I'm concerned, the buzz for this fight that we're receiving it has been amazing, and I'm so happy that we did it, and it's going to be a great fight in February on the 18th here in San Jose.
What makes him, for you, Scott? What makes him the best heavyweight of all time?
Look at the run he had in Pride. I mean, come on, let's face it. I know Pride was the best league in the world at that time. There was not another league that had the heavyweights that Pride had. I mean, look at all the great fighters that came out of Pride. And so, to me, that's if you're really a fan of the sport and you know the sport, not just the last 5 or 10 years, but I'm talking the last 25 years. Everybody knows Pride had the best fighters in the world back then when FEDOR was just dominating everybody. So, to me, that's really the key, is like the quality of the competition that he was fighting. His record, speaks for itself. So, to me, that's why he's the greatest heavyweight of all time.
You're taking him back to the SAP Center in San Jose. I mean, the scene of his loss to Fabrizio Werdum in 2010, was that because you know him and you want to help him exercise some demons, or was it just a coincidence? That's just where the fight's taking place.
I'll tell you, it was just the timing. This is something that FEDOR wanted to fight right away. And we had this on the books. As you know, January, we do the fight between Chael Sonnen and Tito Ortiz in Los Angeles. And then March, we already had another fight scheduled with Rampage Jackson. We thought in February, we had a date booked at the SAP already. So, it wasn't a matter of, get the demons out. It's just that the timing worked out. The venue's great. But I will say this. I'm not complaining that I get a home game.
I bet you're not.
No, get to sleep in my own bed and not have to fly somewhere to go to this fight. So to me, I'm happy that it's in San Jose.
Take us a bit further back, Scott, because I understand that you were a keen martial artist yourself many moons ago. Is that correct?
Yeah, many moons ago.
What was your discipline, and how did you get into the sport? And is that essentially how you've you formed your love affair with all things martial arts over these last 10, 20 years?
Yeah, and it's been longer than that.
I didn't want to give away your age, Scott. I didn't want to.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I'm very comfortable with my age.
Cool.
But I started martial arts training when I was living in Korea, and I was 7 years old at the time. And everybody in Korea does taekwondo. That's just how it is. I remember when it was time to pick the PE class, they said, "You want to play soccer? You can play baseball, or you can do taekwondo." And so I want taekwondo and martial arts. So I just really loved it. And then when we moved back to the States, I was living in San Francisco for a couple of years. I did study, and then we moved to San Jose in the mid-70s, and I believe I was like 11 years old at the time. I walked into another taekwondo school there's a martial arts teacher by the name of Ernie May Sr. who was teaching there, who, I'm not sure if you know who he is, but he has a very prominent martial arts academies here throughout the
I've heard.
United States.
I've heard.
Yeah, and then his son was a Ninja Turtle. He had his own TV series here in the 80s. But anyway, I started studying with him, and really, it changed my life, and it really made me fall in love with martial arts. And then I taught for him at his school. I opened my own schools. And then when I was 21, I started promoting fights. And really, that came about in a very, very, I don't know, just by chance way. I mean, I was sitting down at the Christ School, and one of my students says to me, "Hey, do you want to promote a kickboxing show?" And this is before MMA, right? There's no MMA back in the 80s. I said, "Well, what do you need to do?" He says, "I have no idea, but I have Coors Beer that wants to sponsor, and I'll never forget, they want to pay $5,000, and they're looking for a promoter to promote this kickboxing show." And I said, "Sure, let's do it." And really, we had no idea how to do it. And so, here we are, 31 years later, and I'm still doing it. So that was the genesis of it all. But, martial arts is something I believe in. It's really, why I continue promoting, and I really think that, my journey through the martial arts world has been fascinating and something that I just love.
I understand you're a keen Bruce Lee fan as well, is that right?
I think I'm probably one of the biggest Bruce Lee fans.
You're a Bruce Lee geek, Scott. Let's get it right. You're a Bruce Lee geek.
Okay, I admit it. I'm a closet Bruce Lee geek.
Do you know something? We often speak about Bruce Lee and Wing Chun. I have to ask, because it's come up on this show before. Did you know that Wing Chun was a girl?
Did I know Wing Chun was
Was a girl, a lady.
Wing Chun was a lady?
Yeah, it's a lady's name. Is that right? It's a lady's name. Did you know that?
Oh, I did not know that.
So I didn't know that either. I'm starting to doubt whether our Master Wong is that right, Master Wong?
Yeah, Wing Chun is a woman name, yes.
It's a woman's name.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna take Master Wong's word for it. We learn something every day, Scott.
Yeah, and I'll tell you why I love Bruce. I mean, think about it. He's been passed for 40 years, 43 years, or whatever it is, and it's now proven in the cage that you need to have an eclectic style of martial arts, and that's really what Bruce was teaching in the 60s and 70s. So, to me, it's like he was so far ahead of his time, and he was the guy that could walk the talk, and I have a lot of respect for him, and I still do. And some of his philosophy that he preached back, in the 60s, something I still read to this day, from time to time, and it gives me some motivation. And my father was American, my mom is Korean, and to have I think he was probably the first Asian superstar that made it really cool to be Asian back in the 60s and 70s. Before that, there was no Asian superstar in America, and it was kind of with the bomb in a racial way, but Bruce made it very cool to be Asian, and he was a fantastic martial artist and great philosopher, and I think he still sets the standard today as to what it takes to be called a martial artist.
I've got Master Wong on my right hand side here, nodding his head in approval at pretty much everything you just said. Would you agree with that, Wong?
That's right.
Yeah. Is he a role model for you, Wong?
Yeah, because he's not wrong there. Because even though he died for so long now, he's still remembered. One of the greatest martial art all time.
Scott, Chael Sonnen, T.O.O.T's now Fedor. I mean, the aim is obviously to chip away at the UFC's dominance, the UFC's global appeal. How's that going?
Well, you know what? I honestly, UFC is a great company. They've done a lot of great things in the sport. I always just felt like there's room for two. And really, when I wake up every day and we're managing our company and our team, really we're focusing on our growth. And the growth, part of the growth is we need to have great fighters. We need to have big names. We need to build stars in this business. And that's going to take time. I mean, I've only been at this company for a bit over 2 years. I think that in the 2 years, I think we've accomplished some really great things. But, we got to build fighters from the ground up, which we're doing, and a program in place that does that. And then we're going to buy the free agents as they come about. And the guys that we want are guys that, have maybe more than just a great fighting ability, but they're a personality, and they're somebody that is a draw and a figure and an attraction, like a Fedor, like a Chelson, like a Benson Henderson, like a Roy McDonald. I mean, we've accomplished some great things in the free agent market, but I've always believed that the roster that we have, is fantastic. But we have to build from the ground up, and from the top down, we have to buy the free agents, and that's how you make a robust fight roster. And it's worked for me at Strikeforce, and it's worked for me here. So we're going to continue to do that.
What would you say is the difference between yourselves and the UFC, Scott? If there was a distinct difference or a defining aspect of your organisation, what would you think? What would you say that was?
I think that one of the differences is that their business model, they have a little bit more restriction than we do as far as the sponsorships. I think that we're both in the fight business. They've been around a long time, since '93, and they've created a great history for themselves, which we look forward to creating for ourselves. So, to me, I think if you're a fighter, the number one difference though is the sponsorship aspect. That like a guy like Phil Davis, who basically he had to wear Reebok, and he's making very little sponsorship. Or the fighters who were there compared to maybe what Phil's doing now. I mean, Phil's doing extremely well now with sponsorship. So I think that's we're a little bit more, we're a little bit less restricted. I think that maybe the other guys.
The London show took place early this year, Scott. I mean, how was it for you? What were your thoughts on that?
I tell you, I think that for our first outing there, I thought the show was amazing. It was fantastic. I think people that were there got to see a great fights. So not just one fight, but great fights. It's a great night of entertainment. I think that they got to see and touch and feel the production value that Bellator will bring, when they come to the UK or different parts of the world we're traveling to. And, it's something that is very close to home because, as you know, Bellator is owned by Viacom. And Viacom owns Channel 5. Viacom owns Spike UK. You'll see a lot of us in the UK in 2017.
Michael Page stole that show, didn't he? I mean, that flying knee against Santos, that's going to be remembered and replayed forever. What are your thoughts on how big an icon Michael could be?
Boy, Michael he's a special talent. And let's face it, he didn't have a great showing here in San Jose on his last fight.
On 165 you're talking about, right?
Yeah. I just feel like it was his fight to dictate. He could control a little bit more of the tempo, but there wasn't a lot of engagement in the fight. And I think that it is what it is. But you know what? And I want to say that just so people that saw the fight will understand. Like a guy like that, to me, he's a big star in the making, and he's not always going to have the A+ performance that people are used to. And I think that he has set the expectation so high for himself. He's always trying to over-deliver and do something spectacular. And, next time you'll see a different Michael Page. But he just looked a little bit uncomfortable in the ring. His first time, or in the cage, his first time he fought here in the Bay Area, in the San Francisco Bay Area. He's fought mostly in the East Coast. So we'll see. But I expect, the Michael Page of old to rebound and stream back, but the guy just does so many things in the cage that you just normally can't do. People can't, replicate that. So, he's very unique in that sense, and he does have a traditional martial arts background, which that's what I love, and so I have high expectations for his growth and his future and his star power, from 2017 and beyond.
Linton Vassell was another one from these shores who fought on the 165 show recently. I know that he's a man that's hungry for a title. Could there potentially be a fight between himself and Phil Davis? I mean, Phil needs an opponent, doesn't he?
Yeah, I mean, I think that that definitely could be in the works. I mean, we're going to sit down and talk over talk about the last fight on Monday with my staff. So, we'll have some more matchups, some more fights that we're going to put together in 2017. So, but because the fight was just last week, and we have the early week, the short week this week, so Thanksgiving holiday here in the U.S., we just haven't huddled up and I haven't gone there with my fight team yet.
Okay, Rory McDonald is possibly the biggest name in terms of active fighters to make the switch from UFC to Bellator in recent times. When's he going to be in action? Any plans?
Yeah, he's going to be in action in the summer of 2017. Just waiting for his nose to heal. But it's all looking good, and I'm excited because that guy can bring it. And we have a 170-pound weight class. I think we have probably, arguably the best 170-pound division in the planet. And if you look at the Douglas Lima Crush Cup fight that just happened, Paul Daly, Rory McDonald, MVP. I mean, it's just the list goes on. I mean, we got some killers in that weight class, and I'm looking forward to put Rory in that mix.
Putting other fighters in the mix, GSP, Ryan Bader, surely two names you'd love to see associated with your organization.
Yeah, I mean, when you talk about GSP, the issue really is he is saying that he doesn't have a contract. UFC is saying that he's under contract. So, there's a lot of gray areas in that relationship. I mean, we're friends, and he came to the fight, hello. But, as far as, I think, contractually, they got some things to work out, and then we'll see how it goes. But, we're not going to engage in signing a fighter that's under contract or that has that gray area. But, hopefully, he will get together and figure it out, and we'll know which way to go, because right now I think he's kind of in a gray area, a little bit of limbo.
Yeah, a bit of a difficult scenario for him. But if there was a fantasy MMA event, Scott, who would be on your card?
If there was I didn't hear it probably, sorry.
A fantasy MMA. You know that you got the fantasy baseball league, fantasy NFL league. If there was a fantasy MMA event, who would be top of the bill, and what would be some of the matchups that you'd like to see?
Boy, that's a great question. I mean,
it's Joe's question. I'm going to give Joe the kudos for this.
I tell you, if it's a fantasy MMA league, I would love to see Christopher Perdue fight FEDOR again, and see what would happen. Could FEDOR avenge his first loss? And I think that's one of the fights I would put together.
Okay. Who would win that now then?
Yeah, I mean, who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? I mean, Fabricio, it's going to be an interesting matchup.
Yeah.
And when you talk about eras, I mean, are you talking about the fighters in the 90s or the fighters in the 2000s?
No, yeah, I'm more talking about.
Fighters fighting today.
I was more talking about the fighters from today. I don't know if Joe wants to take it back an era or two, but I was more talking about if it was to happen in 2017.
Yeah, I got it. Well, are you talking about fantasy just for all leagues?
Yeah. Go for it.
Okay. I mean, I think MVP and Wonder Boy would be an amazing fight.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's tasty.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, that'd be fantastic. Any more for any more?
Well, those are the two that just come off the tip of my tongue. I mean, obviously, if GSP was a part of the fantasy team, maybe he and he and Douglas Lima would fight and get it on, or him and Paul Daly, or I mean, I think that any one of those two fights I would love to see.
Yeah, me too. To be honest with you, especially the Paul Daly one. Scott, moving on, right? History was made in New York recently with the UFC show. I mean, have you got any plans for Bellator in the Big Apple next year, or is that in the offing soon?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Vicom is a New York-based company.
Right.
And, we're talking to Madison Square Garden and Barclays Arena. And, we're going to probably go there. I want to say end of second to third quarter. Beginning of third quarter, we're gonna go to New York, and I'll tell you, this will probably be arguably the biggest fight card in the history of Bellator. So, when you go to New York, you gotta go big.
Yeah, I think so.
We're gonna bring it. We're gonna bring it.
I want to end my interview because I appreciate you want to get back to your turkey. Do you eat turkey, Scott? Scott, do you eat turkey, mate?
Oh yeah, I'm going to take my family out today.
All right, okay.
We're going to have some turkey and gravy and enjoy Thanksgiving.
All right, well listen, I'm going to leave you with that. Actually, before I go, I'm going to ask you a question because we had a debate on this show a couple of weeks ago, a couple of episodes ago, where Joe was singing the praises of the Bellator organization and I was singing the praises of the UFC. In terms of monetary prizes on offer, I reckon your best place with the UFC, Joe reckons fighters have a better chance to earn good money with Bellator. Obviously, I know your position, but where do you stand in terms of that debate?
You mean as far as paying the athletes?
Yeah.
I mean, let me tell you, we're paying some of our guys big dollars, as big as anything out there. And if you talk about the quality fighters, something you saw, he's telling me in Strikeforce, you guys aren't the UFC, the fighters aren't as good, and then look at the fighters I developed there, Luke Rockhold, Kenny Cormier, Tyron Woodley, Ronda Rousey came from there, Miesha Tate came from there, Nick Diaz fought for me there, Robbie Lawler fought for me there. I mean, come on, it's like a fighter is a fighter. You can't be a slave to the brand, like a logo and a name,
Agreed.
And at the end of the day, I'm telling you, we have fighters, win or lose, but they would be, let me rephrase that. I believe we have fighters in certain divisions that would beat their guys. And they probably have some that would beat ours. But to say that the fighters are different, no, fighters are the same. They're people. And they have, 2 legs and 2 arms, and they can kick and punch and grapple. But beat some of the best fighters in the world, and I'll stand by that anytime. Okay.
All right, Scott. Well, I'm going to love you and leave you on that note. Thank you again for your time. Really appreciate that and on all of the points that you've made. Happy to have you on the show next time you're in the UK. Wishing your family a happy Thanksgiving and enjoy your meal. All right, sir?
Appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
No worries. Appreciate that. Once.
Bye now.
Thanks, Scott. Take care.
Cool. That was Scott Coker. What can I say, man? He's a visionary, really. He's the type of person that you follow their next moves, don't you, Joe?
Yeah, I mean, he
not just you personally. I'm just saying in general. I know you follow his next move, Joe. I'm talking in general because he's the kind of guy that you really want to keep tabs on.
I actually look at Scott Coker, and funnily enough, we've actually got a lot in common.
Have you now, Joe?
No, we've got a lot in common in the sense that we both come from martial arts and we both promote. I'm not putting myself into the same realm as Scott Coker because what he's achieved is far beyond what I've achieved. But then again, he's probably 15 or so years older than myself. So I've still got 15 years to go. But I think he's a great role model for a promoter. There's not a lot of great role models as promoters. Let's be honest,
Very true.
With how they've treated fighters and athletes. The way he treats athletes and the way he conducts business, I like. I prefer the way he conducts business to the way Dana White conducts business.
Right.
That's just my personal point of view.
Right. You've had dealings with Dana White then, have you?
Dana White come to the Senny show. Dana White got a private jet over and landed in Birmingham and come to our event. So yeah,
Saying I'm
sat
just,
down
just
with
asking a question, innit? Now he's studying on everybody.
of course I have time.
Like, it's all right. You know what I mean? But he ain't coming back on our private jet now that you don't like him anymore. But I'm joking. It's an opinion.
I think what he's done is brilliant. But what I'm saying is, you know, as someone who works in promotions and events, I think the way that he conducts business, the way he does things, the manner in which he does things, the manner in which he treats athletes, I prefer him to the way Dana is.
One thing's for sure, you've never heard too many people with a bad word to say about Scott. In the same way that you hear them talk about Dana.
Sure.
You know, so
I agree. And as, you know, I'm no spring chicken by any means, but like promoters coming up, like if you're looking up to someone and watching what they've done in their career, I mean, he's been promoting for 35 years. So, you know, you've got to look at their track record and what they've done, you know.
Leadership.
What I can't stand in our industry is, I'll have a little rant there, Joel.
Go for it.
Is people what pop up out of nowhere. They've not promoted a fight in their life, but they've got the biggest brand, the biggest show, the best show, and they've not promoted anything. But they're telling the world that they're the biggest, they're the best, they're this, they're that. You're not. You're nothing. And they're saying they've got a brand, and they haven't even put on a show yet. And that happens in our industry a lot, and it dents our industry, and it keeps our industry down because there's so many people what go out there and they believe they're the biggest and the best, and they haven't, you know, they haven't.
You're tired of the two bob promoters, ain't you?
They haven't put 5 bums on seats, you know.
One man and a dog comes to their shows, and normally the dog pisses off.
Have you been to one of them?
I'm not going to call them up. I'm a sports journalist for 15 years. I've been to a few shows that are a bit ropey.
Yeah, bit ropey.
So I understand exactly.
Well, I think it happens in sport in general. I don't think it's just the fight industry.
No, you're right.
It happens in events.
But I think you're right, though. The fight industry suffers as a result of it.
Yeah, we've suffered badly, you know, over the years. I would rather go to another event, a competitor, and see it banged out. You know, if you're a greengrocer, right, and you're selling fruit, and there's another greengrocer's up the road, and you go to that greengrocer's, wouldn't you want to see that they're sold out at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, or do you want to see no one in the shop? If they're sold out, it means business is good, right? So business is going to be good for you.
For everybody, yeah.
But in the fight world, in the promotions world, in the events world, you know, going right across the board to other events, promoters have got this thing, you know, that I can't wait to go to Joel's event because I think there's not going to be a lot of people there. I'd rather go to an event and see it thriving, see it banging, because that's going to inspire me to go out and make sure my one's better.
Just as good, if not better. Yeah.
Anyway,
there's an industry standard there, isn't it? A thriving business or show in the way that you're describing indicates a thriving industry, and an industry serves more than one person.
What do you want a weak industry for?
No, I agree.
You know, but there's too many haters out there, and it goes back to the start of the show. What you were saying, you know, we started off the show with leadership.
Yeah. So someone's got to lead the ship.
Anyway,
Others got to support it.
speaking of leading the ship, 5 fit tips.
Yeah, we should segue into that, shouldn't we?
Yeah, should we do that?
Yeah, let's do that. We've got Dwayne Chambers coming up on the line, former athlete, a guy who's been through a lot, ups and downs, but has come through the other side and is doing a lot of positive things. He'll give you his details, no doubt, in the way that every person who contributes to 5 Fit Tips does. So without further ado, this is the Combat&Strength podcast with me, Campbell, Wong,
and Long.
Tune in every week for all things fighting and fitness, combat and strength. Today's fit tips, as I said at the top of the show, are being presented by none other than Dwayne Chambers, athlete Dwayne Chambers, great British sprinter. He's the third or the second fastest man in European history over 60 meters. Is that right, Dwayne? Third, yeah? Okay, you all right, say no more then, say no more. That's what it's all about, you know what I mean? Going back to the top of the podium, well, he's, like I said to all our listeners and viewers, he's going to provide our fit tips this week. Dwayne, are you ready, sir?
I'm all for it, bro.
All right, well, we're going to go straight in then. Number 5.
You're a bit slow out the blocks
He
there,
was a
son.
bit slow out the blocks, Joe. He was.
What's going on with him?
I don't know.
He's waiting for you to
He's still in the blocks,
He
isn't
don't know
he?
what to do.
I'm going to tell him what to do,
He
innit?
don't know what
Is
to do.
he still in the blocks or is he in the
To be
changing
honest
room?
with you, I think he's
What's
turned-
happening, Chambers?
On your mark.
Yeah, oh, true, yeah.
Let's do it on your marks.
Let's do it on your marks, right? On your marks, get ready, go. 5.
Right. Tip number 5 is focus. It's important to be focused on what you're doing because we're all influenced with distractions. It's key to just have a mindset of what you're doing. Be clear with your goals and do not get distracted.
Number 4.
Number 4, stick with the right people. This is crucial in anything you do, whether it's in sport or outside of sport. Because the more successful you become, the more Klingons you're going to have. And it's important to stick with the people who have been there from the get-go.
Number 3.
Be competitive. And I don't mean be competitive against other people, but be competitive with yourself. Challenge yourself. Be motivated by yourself. And try not to be too influenced by what other people are doing around you, but challenge your own ability and see how far you can push yourself. See how much you can do without being too influenced by other people.
Number 2.
Consistency. For me, this is what is the most key, the thing that's been most crucial for me in my career, being consistent. Being consistent in the sense that being on the track, being consistent with your performances, being consistent with yourself, and being consistent with your routine.
And lastly, but not leastly, number 1.
Number 1 is have a goal. That could have been number 5, that could have been number 4, but I think having a goal is the most important thing. That's the seed that you get and you put it into the ground, you start nurturing with all the other 4 points that I've highlighted. And once you have a goal, all the other 4 points will complement your overall outcome.
Brilliant. Thanks.
I like that.
Thanks for that, Dwayne. Really appreciate your time. Just
Brilliant.
for all our listeners and viewers, tell us where they can find out more about what you're doing and follow your progression.
Yeah, so I've got a website that's up. It's called Chambers of Sport. So it's www.chambersofsport.com. All the other links on social platforms are attached to my website. I post a lot of tips. I help motivate people, whether it's in sport or outside of sport. And I just give them an option that there is more to life when mistakes happen. So I'm all about that and giving people second chances.
Brilliant.
Man.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Wong saying we want to get you on the show to talk about your experiences because obviously you're referring to your life's work, your journey that's brought you up to this point, and obviously I know it, and a lot of track and field people will know it, but not necessarily everybody in the realm of combat and strength. So hopefully one day we get you on the show to talk about that, man. But good luck with everything you're doing in the future. 2017, we're going to see you out there, World Championships.
So, bro, I'm back on top already.
All right, brilliant, man. Thanks for your time. Really appreciate that, Dwayne. Yeah, take it easy.
Have a good one.
Yeah, we'll do. Speak
Thanks,
soon.
Dwayne.
Bye.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.
That was Dwayne Chambers.
I like them. Really like them.
Yeah, no, the last one was really resonated
Yeah,
with me,
it's
to be honest.
good. This one is good. They give them a lot of main key point,
Yeah, no, definitely.
focus and mind and don't worry. We just talk about today.
Sounds like a deep person. You know him quite well, though, don't
I
you?
do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty deep.
I mean, he's been through a lot. He's
Of
been
course,
through a lot.
yeah.
He's made
Yeah.
his mistakes. He's come back. He's had to deal with a level of press scrutiny that, I'm not a top level sportsman, but sometimes it's borderline intrusive. I'm a journalist myself, so it's a fine balance sometimes. And he's dealt with it. He's come out the other end. I know him quite well. He's got kids, study now. So I know that really shapes the way that he thinks.
Lovely,
Because he
yeah.
has to project a positive nature so that his kids, follow in that path. And I know that's important to him. So, D, I know you're watching. I know you're going to share this all over the internet. So thanks for your time. Thanks for your support. And I think that brings us to the end of the show.
Yeah, we got a different one next week.
No, we have indeed. Yeah.
Got a bit of a different one next
Let
week.
them know.
But what show?
Let them know, Long. Let them know.
That's what I was trying to lead into.
Yeah,
I was trying to lead into it.
Sorry, mate.
So next week, we have the official announcement of the 10K Karate Clash. And we're going to we're going to home in on the some of the athletes, and we're going to go to the announcement, and we're going to do our first, I suppose, what is it? Our first out of studio
Live broadcast.
live broadcast type announcement.
We're growing. That's all I know.
We're just
gonna be
growing.
doing it.
We're taking it in a different direction.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of our supporters. Do you want to talk a little bit more about it?
Yeah, LB24. Yeah, LB24 have been pushing out our content
From the beginning.
from the beginning, as have Blitz, Blitz Sports, as have
MMA Plus.
MMA Plus, Plus Media, Nothing Long. Global Sport in Colour, and World of Martial Arts TV.
And we're really ready for everybody else to get on board as well. So
The Voice
yeah, look out for the content.
is coming on The Voice soon, apparently.
And if you we'll do. And if you get fed up of seeing our content everywhere, it's tough.
Yeah, get over it.
It's just like
That's
this.
how it is.
Get used
And
to
that's how
it.
it's gonna be.
Because we're coming more in 2017. We don't stop.
Yeah.
Don't stop, man. Joe Rogan, I'll see you soon.
Fuck Joe Rogan.
See you next week. It's been Campbell.
Wrong.
And Long. We'll catch you next week.
Was